then I start thinking about how do we encapsulate stories about emotions. So these are 9 stories, short story, each story about one of the basic emotions, and I've gone back to the sort of the Upanishads and the Natya Shastra, and they are the 9 emotions there. I mean, other cultures have, the Greek had something called the 11 passions. The Romans had the others have 14 other things. So Navarasa, right, sir. So that's the word. So if you see the first, the explanation, this is about the Navarasa, the 9 rasas. The rasas could mean juice, very simple Hindi, or it could mean the essence. So your emotions is your essence. So that's what the stories are about. How emotions driving a person, and it could be for the good or for the bad. So in the last story that I read about is about a person's journey of discovery. It's also about a short, it's also a love story at the end of it. But if you see the notes inside it, I'll see them. So at the end, I've given notes about each story as to why I wrote that story. So I'll just read that note. Sorry, give me a second. Okay. The story called Off the Beaten Path. It is said of the great lyricist Gulzar, whose parents, blissfully unaware of his future artistic potential, bestowed on him the most prosaic and unpoetic name called Sapun Singh Kalra. That it is said of Gulzar that he would create lyrics out of newspaper headlines like "Mera kuch saman tumhare paas pada hai" from the movie Ijazat is a prime example. With this story, I want to take up the challenge of taking what would pass as a travel guide and convert it into a romantic tale. So, I mean, once you read the story, you'll realize how it has been written.
And I know where you are 8 to 5. Where do you get the inspiration, the thoughts and ideas to like come up with these stories?
So the 2 things. One is obviously we are empty nester now, so I have the full weekend empty, so I don't have to ferry around my kids to this activity to that activity, so I have so much free time on my hands. So that's where the time part comes. The other is like sort of I have a very vivid imagination, so I think in weird terms. So as an example, story number 2, and looking at you guys there, is we went to a trip upstate New York in a place called Highland, and they had a hot tub, and they used to open and close, like when you want to start it opens up, and you start it closes down, and obviously every time it opened up, I would think there'll be a dead body inside. That's my mind. So that sort of got me thinking, and that's part of story number 2.
And as you're thinking about these stories, who's your audience? Who do you have in mind?
So my primary audience is me. So if I like a story, I think I like a story. It's there. I mean, so obviously, but then this one is sort of short stories with surprise ending. And it's a bit immodest to say, like try to frame it like Jeffrey Archer, who has written short story with surprise ending. Obviously not that category, not that level, but that's the artist I'm trying to emulate. But at the end of the day, my target market is anybody who has $10 in his pocket.